This is really interesting. Geoff Johns makes bold claim in support of latest book, The $1 Trillion Kid. So this is kind of crazy what Geoff Johns is offering to do for this book because he believes in it so much. We're going to talk about that in a second. Real quick, I want to touch on the fact that Geoff Johns created his company Ghost Machine, and that's where he's been publishing all kinds of different titles that are, indie comic books, because anything that's not from one of the big two, I guess you call it indie, even though it's, really being published through Ghost Machine under Image Comics. And we've had some really good stuff come out, and Geoff Johns is one of the greatest writers of all time in comic books. I will argue anyone on that point. We have stuff like his Aquaman run. He made Aquaman cool. He made an Aquaman run that I could not put down, which is pretty amazing. I love this. He also wrote the definitive and the best Green Lantern run of all time. This Green Lantern run is so good, and if anyone is interested in the character of Green Lantern, Geoff Johns' run is required reading for that. He wrote so many other good books, a lot of it during the New 52 era, but he also wrote stuff like the JSA. He wrote this for quite a long time. There's 3 JSA omnibuses. Now, I have a lot more Geoff Johns omnibuses and collected editions in my collection, but I decided to just, grab 3 random ones off my shelf to show in this video. Anyway, my point is, you got to get behind Geoff Johns. He's incredible, and I think the stuff he's probably doing in these comics that he's writing, independently, it's going to be great. Now, what did he offer to do for this book? Well, basically, he did a buyback offer. Now, a buyback offer is not unheard of in comic books. A buyback offer is basically saying, I'll buy back every copy that doesn't sell, for this whatever issue that comes out. The thing is, usually a buyback offer comes from the publisher. But in this case, Geoff Johns is basically saying he will personally buy them back. That's how much faith he has in this book selling well. Or that's the risk he's taking. So that is, speaks a lot about how, where he thinks this book is going to go. We have a preview of some of the images or some of the pages rather of the $1 Trillion Kid comic. Now, I'm not going to go into reading all of this. I will say the art looks absolutely beautiful. It's Stefano Simone, I believe is how you say the last name. But yeah, the art looks beautiful. The colors look really great. I think whenever you combine Geoff Johns' amazing writing with a really good artist, it's just a recipe for success. We also have this article from Image Comics, which talks a little bit more about the Unbelievables universe that's coming out. Basically, in June, worlds collide with a 4-part crossover event, Who Are the Unbelievables?, which is going to introduce several new main characters joining the line, including the $1 Trillion Kid. You have other creators involved in this, like Peter J. Tomasi and Francis Maniple, which is just absolutely great. There's a little bit of information about, what this $1 Trillion Kid comic is going to be. And it's basically a boy has discovered there are extraordinary beings among us, a family from the future living in the present, 2 teenagers destined to rule heaven and hell, and many, many more. A 13-year-old boy, dubbed the $1 Trillion Kid, the world's first trillionaire, is secretly tracking these miracles hiding in plain sight. He calls them the Unbelievables. Why he's searching for them, who else is out there, and what threat aims to corrupt them all will be revealed in our first Ghost Machine crossover event, Who Are the Unbelievables? So, this sounds great. The combination of creators on this sounds amazing. Geoff Johns saying he's going to buy back all the books that don't sell is pretty crazy. The art on this $1 Trillion Kid comic looks really, really great. Geoff Johns is one of the greatest comic book writers of all time. I think there's no arguing that. And I'm here for it. I want this to do well. I think it's great when comics, especially through Image Comics, sell really well because, first of all the proceeds the creators basically own the books that get published through Image Comics, right? Image Comics is just the facilitator of getting the books out into our hands, where Marvel and DC, if you write a really good Marvel or DC story that sells like crazy, you're basically still just getting paid salary. I'm sure people like Scott Snyder are making a lot of money because of what they're doing with the Absolute Universe. But in Image Comics, you have a chance to really make comics that not only you have full control over, but you can really benefit from financially if they do well, personally, because these authors and artists are going to actually own the rights to these characters, in Image Comics. Just a little bit about how Image Comics works, Anyway, I digress. This is really cool. Let me know if you're excited for this comic. Are you going to buy The $1 Trillion Kid? Do you think it was a good idea for Geoff Johns to say he's going to do a personal buyback of all the comics that don't sell? Are you a fan of Geoff Johns? I want to know all your thoughts in the comments down below.